Yeah, hey everybody, this is Ryan back out here with you again. It's Saturday, May 16th, I believe. Went and picked up this cabinet load this morning, dropping hook. That went pretty well for the most part. They're not being able to find the paperwork out there at 3 o'clock in the morning, but did find it and got out of there. And I just came a couple hours down the road out here to Lebo, Kansas, to the TA out here. It's a really big lot and quiet, and I've been wanting to do a video on the truck and a little bit of the Cummins ISX familiarization. Some people had asked about that. So I was just going to kind of give you a little overview of my truck inside and out and kind of go over some features of the engine and show that out to you today. And like I said, I don't have many trucks around me and it's quiet and it's not thunderstorm going on or nothing. So I've been trying to do this for like the last 3 days, and we've had some of the weather related or guys flying by me in trucks or backing in with reefers and everything else on. So finally got a good place to do it, and I'm gonna kind of knock it out here. But first I'm just gonna go through the inside the truck here and show you what I got. Then we'll go outside, kind of walk around, and then I'll go over the engine a little bit. And so like I said, I know there's a couple guys asking about the Cummins ISX, and I'll show you everything I know about that out there. So with that, go ahead and get started. Okay, so first of all, I put a different steering wheel in here. The original one, like the rubber starts coming off, and it like have a little, you'll get black stuff stuck to your hands. So I got this for like $200 and different hubs. Switched that out in about a half an hour. Pretty low. Not a whole lot. I got a 10-speed in here. I like to carry a lot of water, so I fill up my passenger side with water. CB up at the top. I got pre-pass the lead. Got my Sirius XM up there. I also have this little deal here. This is a PDI power tuner. It does a lot of different things. It optimizes your emissions, and gives me about 15% more horsepower. So with the 475 ST engine that I have, probably roughly at about 525, 530ish, I guess I'd say, probably on the horsepower with that. And I'll show you some more features of that in a separate video, because it does quite a few different things. But sometimes, I know I tried it once before with my phone here, and it like kept like flashing, so you couldn't really see it, so I might have to use a different camera. But I use the Qualcomm IVG for an ELD. That's what you'll get here at Landstar. If you get it through Landstar, it's like $800 installed, and then your airtime, I think, is like $25, $30 a month or so. I'd look on the next settlement statement exactly what it is. But we'll kind of go around. This has a the cab on these is pretty short. Like, I can't stand up here, but when you come to the back, there's like a 6-inch step that comes down. We got a couple shelves, which are a disaster right now. Got a little bit wider bed, but I don't have a top. This isn't a double bunk. I got like a shelf back here, which is pretty nice. We've got one thing I really like about these cabs. I got window here. Then you come around, I got these two big windows in the front, which are really nice, because I got those custom made shades, the aluminum ones, for the windows in the front and for my front windshield. And that's usually, I just put those on. I usually don't even close my curtains, and I still got these two big windows up here, plus I got another one on the other side there too. But I've got all my stuff kind of taken off the bed right now. I do have a power inverter right there that powers my microwave, and I got a little refrigerator down here, so I'm gonna make like a tabletop type deal for that eventually. But yeah, that's pretty much the inside. So I do have a tri-pack as well. I'll show you that outside, but here's the controller for that. It's the generation before the Evolution. My little heater down there actually quit working, and like a replacement through Thermo King, it was like $900. So I ended up getting one of those Chinese ones off of Amazon for like $150, and I switched it out, and it has its own little panel, and it was pretty easy. I actually installed it in a truck stop out in California, and I've used it all winter. I mean, I've been down to -10 up in Montana and all that, and over the winter, and sometimes it'd get so warm and you have to crack the windows a little bit if you got it on the 5th setting. So, like I said, it's pretty much what we have inside here. So now I'll go outside and show you what we got out there, and a little bit about the engine. Alright, so we're outside, kind of looking at the driver's side. Here's the tri-pack I was talking about. This gives me power and air conditioning, and it's kind of partially tied in with the heat. Like I said, once I put that other heating unit in, I kind of separated it so it's not all in the same console. But I'm gonna be, next time I change my oil, I'll be servicing this, and I'll show you guys how to do that and some other things on this. And also, I know a place where you can get filters. You can get a whole filter kit. You can get the oil filter, fuel filter, air filter, and the cabin filter for like 22 bucks for the whole kit. I mean, if you go to Thermo King for that stuff, probably in a couple hundred. So I'll give you that information out too. I'm going to show you. I take a lot of stuff, so when I'm on the road, I like to have everything I need. So. We'll go ahead and open up the hood. Okay, I got the hood opened up. So we're going to start out over here on the passenger side and show you a couple things. I'm going to get pretty basic here with some of the stuff, but I'm just going to cover all my bases. So start up here at the front. This is the alternator, air conditioning pump, AC pump. Come back here, you got your turbo, still kind of warm. And I showed you guys in one of the past videos, your coolant filters right down here, and your oil filters on this side. And the oil filter is a little bit longer than the screw-on fuel filter over there. Here you got the downpipe, it goes down to your emission systems, to your DPF and all that, and the catalyst first. This here is this injects fuel, and if you do a DPF cleaning, there's a little gasket in there that should be replaced as well. I was having some issues with this injector, so I just replaced it. They're about $450 or so. And you have, this is your inlet side NOx sensor. It screws in right here. I know if you saw my video when I did the outlet side, it's the same thing basically, but just it has that little module down there. So if you're changing that out, they said it's right there. So if you look at, like I said, if you look at my video, the outlet NOx sensor, it's the exact same process. Just unplug it, unbolt it, and screw it in. So it's they're pretty much the same, just the cords are different. Behind this, you have the EGR cooler, and it comes up to the front here. That's exhaust manifold where it comes around, and oil cooler is down there. Now this is the EGR valve right here. So somebody was asking about that. And I mean, that's pretty much it for the most part on this side. So I know on my T680 I had some trouble with the low coolant level sensor. It would say I would have my coolant would be full like this, and it would keep going off like ding ding ding, and this wouldn't stop, and it ended up being that sensor is right here. I think they're about $120. But what's cool about this, you can actually pull this out without having to drain the water or anything. You gotta use a screwdriver. You gotta be careful not to break the tabs off down there that are around it. It's hard to see from this vantage point, but there's the white tabs, there's 4 of them around it, and you gotta kind of pry at those just a little bit, but like I said, be careful. Then you can actually pull that out, and there's just a little tiny hole up there, and no water will actually, or coolant actually drain out of it, and you can change it. So if you're getting that problem where you're getting that alarm for low coolant and it's full, then it's probably that sensor, and it's pretty easy to change out. But with that, we'll go around the other side. So back over here, this is the crankcase filter, which we talked about in a prior video. Power steering fluid reservoir. I never usually have any issues with that. fuel filter to screw on, and this is the primary filter, fuel filter, the element type. So this one's going to get dirtier before this one does, so that's something to keep in mind. This filter here is your first line of defense. This is the secondary. So, your air compressors right here, and power steering pumps on the back of the air compressor. You can see this line goes down to it, and below that is my fuel pump right there. And I had the old one that had the ceramic parts in it that came apart. It didn't come apart in this one, but Cummins actually did a warranty upgrade on it. And steering gearbox here. And one little sensor here I want to tell you all about. I know there's some information about it. This sensor right here, they're about $50 or so. And this is a intake manifold pressure and temperature sensor, so it does a lot of things. And this little sensor right here has put a lot of guys out of business, because when it starts going bad, it can throw turbo codes. I mean, those guys that are putting, they went into dealers and techs don't know what they're doing, and they've charged them $8 grand to put a turbo on when it was this little sensor. I mean, it throw EGR, I mean, codes, all kinds of stuff. I recommend you can just take this screw out right here, and this actually move that little hold down, and that just pops out of there. It's got a little rubber O-ring, so you can get a new one. I mean, of course, you got to unplug it right here, pull the plug off, take the screw out, and you can take a little screwdriver and pry it up out of there. Then the new one will have a little O-ring, and you can put a little bit of oil on the O-ring, and then it just sticks down in there. So it takes literally like 2 minutes to change out. But I change mine out about every 50,000 miles just for good measure. I don't want any issues. And as I said, this is a 475 ST, which I think Cummins calls it a smart torque. So it's a multi-torque engine. So this particular one, normally I got 1,650 foot-pounds of torque. And when I'm in 9th and 10th gear, it'll give me the higher torque range, so you don't have to downshift, and it doesn't, you don't heat the engine up. So when I'm like pulling grades, even with heavy loads, like out in Wyoming and Montana and out there and whatnot, it actually runs. I don't think my oil temperatures ever got over 225. When I had my T680 with the PACCAR MX-13 in it, a lot of times it would like redline. It'd go up to about 250, 260 when I was on those bigger grades. So this one definitely, I mean, this one holds about 2 gallons more oil as well, so that helps with coolant. One other thing I want to show you guys, these bump pipes here, as I've always called them, these can go bad as well, and you'll lose boost. And if you get like a kind of a shrieking noise at certain, like I had a problem with about right at 15, 16 psi of boost, I was getting kind of like a squealing noise, like you're blowing over a piece of paper or something, and it makes that kind of high-pitched noise. And I actually found it was one of these pipes was one of these tubes was leaking, so you'll lose boost there. And so if you're getting kind of a high shrieking noise like that at a consistent boost pressure, I would replace these. I mean, they're not too expensive. I mean, I think you could replace all of them for probably 150 bucks, because you got 2 more on the other side. Yeah, I got 2 more. So I actually I replaced both of these ones over here is where I was having the trouble at, but I may go ahead and replace the other ones too. But that's pretty much it under the hood. That's the front of it. And all your emission stuff is behind this panel back here. If you want to take these off, all you have to do is take out these 6 bolts. There's 3 up here, 3 down there, and this just pulls off. And once you take that off, this back panel, you actually kind of twist it and you pull the back part out of the, I mean, it's pretty, you'll basically pull this out. Then once you pull it out, then you can pull it forward, and you can pull that whole panel off. There's no bolts or anything or any hardware to take that off, and then you can get to everything back here. chain hanger. I just took my chains off before this last trip. I usually carry 6 tire chains. Some of the states like Oregon and Washington. Washington, I think, actually requires you to have an extra one, so you're supposed to have 7 because they want you to have them for the trailer up there in those states. But, so I got those off and probably lost about 250-300 pounds, which I kind of need. What else we got? I got a 100-gallon fuel tank on each side, so I can hold about 190 gallons of fuel, I guess. Then that's the part of the AC there for the tri-pack. That's pretty much it. Like I said, I got a 10-speed right now. I'm thinking about upgrading it, putting a 13-speed in it, so that might be a project that we do this summer or this fall, depending on how things go. But also my rear ends, I have 342 rear ends, which are a pretty good ratio for this 10-speed. So I can run pretty quick. It pulls pretty well out on the grades out in Wyoming and all that. So it's not too low, but my fuel economy isn't too great. Alright, so back in here in the truck, that's pretty well the grand tour, and a little bit about the engine on this. If you got any questions, I've had a PACCAR MX-13, I don't have any. I had one video on there, I think, of I ran the overhead. I think I got that on our channel. That was really, I wish I would have done more videos with that truck, but I just didn't really think about it at the time. We just started this a couple months ago. So if you got any questions about that, I'd be glad to help you out. I'm gonna do a couple other videos today. I got to be in Fishers, Indiana, which is 8.5 hours away from here on Monday morning, so I've got a lot of time to kind of catch up on some things and try to put a couple of videos together here that people have been requesting and get those knocked out for you all. But like I said, if you got any questions or anything, let us know, comment, and if you need our contact info, it's on our About page. It's got an email on there that we can be contacted out if you need to send any personal information or anything like that, you know, that way. Like I said, if you like the videos, like us and subscribe to support us, and we appreciate the views and the nice comments and all that. So thanks, and have a good day.